Showtime is here, and no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
It's time to make fat people pay, at least when they travel. That's what Southwest is saying this holiday season. And we're going to be talking about streaming movies for the holidays, the top 50. Is your favorite on it? So much more. Join me.
Uncensored, unfiltered, unhinged. It's the Karel Cast. Listen daily on your favorite streaming service.
It is the Karel Cast. I am Karel. Happy Monday, December 22nd. That's it, honey. It's here. It's Christmas week. Christmas is Thursday. Christmas Eve is Wednesday. And then next year, it's New Year's week. And then that's it. Start all over. Wash, rinse, repeat, honey. Start all over again. As I told you, we're not going to be doing a lot of politics on these shows because I've had enough. Oh, God, last week. And then there was that White House speech. We talked enough about that, but still addressing the nation like that for such bull crap. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that path. But what I do want to start with is something, how do I say this? It's Christmas week. And first of all, if you haven't mailed your cards, don't. Make them New Year's cards. I like New Year's cards, by the way. Do you like my Ray-Bans? I'm wearing my Ray-Bans again this week. I haven't worn them in a while, and I don't know why. I love them. But I wear the clear ones on air, but I like my Ray-Bans. Anyway, so it's Christmas week. And maybe you have a full week with family. Maybe you're all by yourself. Maybe you're at a really joyous part of your life and you're celebrating and happy. And maybe times are tough and you've got a tree this big or no tree at all. One thing that people don't talk about enough over the holiday season, and one thing that I never hear anybody do over the holiday season, is give you permission, okay? I am giving you permission to have the holiday that you want. And if you don't want to be happy 24/7, then don't. You know, look, next week, both my parents died, albeit years apart. 28th and 29th is when my parents died of December. So the week between Christmas and New Year's, which everyone's, joyous and getting ready for the new year and everything, for me, it's kind of a rough week. And a lot of you have relatives that have passed away over Christmas. It's a very popular time to die. And so, you might be feeling bittersweet right now, this holiday season. Maybe this last year was just really rough on you. And with Trump and the economy and everything that's happened in this last year, maybe you're just not able to put all that aside. So I don't want you to be depressed this week, on the contrary. But I don't want you to feel forced to be merry because that depresses you. Holiday depression is real, and it's been around for centuries. That's why Festivus, the holiday that really was, we're going to talk about that on Christmas Eve, that's why Festivus was invented. Okay? That's why festivals around the winter solstice were invented. It's dark. It's cold. The nights are long. Okay? It's not exactly a joyous time of the year. So they had to pep it up, with festivals and alcohol and, ways to get merry. The evergreen being brought into the house to symbolize birth is coming again. We're not the only race of people or class of people or culture of people to get depressed around the holidays. It's actually human to get depressed around the winter solstice. It's been going on for centuries. So you're already fighting seasonal depression. Everybody gets it. And so when you're forced to be happy, you got to be happy. When you're forced, it doesn't work. And so I'm giving you permission today to take the holidays one day at a time. And remember, this is about you and how you feel just as much as it's about how others in your family feel. Practice some self-care over the holidays. Take care of you. Okay? If you need to remove yourself because some of your family are MAGA or, whatever, if you need to then do so. You are not obligated to do anything this holiday season except try to enjoy it. That's all you're obligated to do. Just try and enjoy the season. That doesn't mean you're going to succeed every day. And that doesn't mean on Christmas morning you're going to wake up jubilant with bluebirds singing everywhere. Just try to enjoy it. That's what I give you permission to do. Try and have a good holiday week. Or 2 weeks. But if someday...
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes, at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
I'm going to be honest. Some holidays I struggle. I think honesty around the holiday season is refreshing. It's me and Ember. And God bless that I have Ember this holiday season. 10 years I've had her. 10 Christmases. And that's wonderful. But remember, I had Andrew and a husband, and we had niece and nephew and other extended family in Long Beach. And so Christmas Day was always filled, very busy. And the same with New Year's Eve and New Year's. Always parties and people. And the whole season. Andrew and I were in radio, and then after he died, when I was at KGO, there was always holiday events. Always. Here in Vegas, outside of Stephen Cabral, for whom I am deeply grateful for, and Sherry and Jeannie, who came over for holiday tea a week and a half ago, I don't have a ton of social people. So Christmas Eve, Steve and I may have dinner. We may not. Depends. And Christmas Day, we will probably have a lunch. But it'll be just me and him, and I'll be very grateful for that. But I'll be alone a lot on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'll be by myself. I'll see the normal people at the park when I go to the park. And so what I'm saying is I've gone from a ton of people to hardly any. And some of you are in that boat. You're empty nesters. Your family moved away. Your children or grandchildren moved away. Maybe you moved away. And you're, instead of the big gatherings that you're used to, it might just be you and your husband or you and your wife or just you. And so I'm in that same boat too. I will not see a lot of people. And I know you go, well, Karel, why don't you volunteer at this or why don't you do that? Look, I'm not looking for advice on how to not be alone on Christmas. I know those things if I wanted to go volunteer or whatever. But, it's just finding my groove. And I haven't found it yet. And so I get it that some of you this year may not have the gatherings that you're used to. That doesn't mean it has to be a depressing day. Okay, it doesn't. So Ember and I are going to have fun on Wednesday and Thursday. I hope you're going to have fun on Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe I'll go to a movie. Maybe I'll just go for a hike out in the wilderness, maybe we'll go out to the canyon, to Red Rock. I'm sure there'll be many other people. Maybe we'll just go watch people using their, Christmas presents. I didn't get a ton of Christmas presents this year, but that's okay. I have most everything I want, except, that Vitamix Ascent 5 blender. Try to have a good time. Now, obesity and me go back a long way. We really do. And I have been fat a big portion of my life. And even now I'm 25 pounds overweight. And so I'm always interested when stories come along about obesity, other than Ozempic. So Southwest Airlines has changed their policy. It used to be if you were a plus-size passenger, they'd give you an extra seat for comfort, and for your comfort and for the comfort of others. Well, starting January 20th, they're going to start charging plus-size people for the extra seat. And the gate agent is one of the ones that gets to decide if your ass is too fat to fit in the seat. And what they mean by fitting in the seat is, can you put the armrest down? Now, I have been on planes where this is the armrest and this is the person. It's like a U. You know, the armrest is cutting into their bodies and they're overflowing. I've been the person overflowing before. And so, you know, I know the person next to me wasn't having fun. And a lot of times it was Andrew, thank goodness. And I have been the person next to the fat person where you're kind of sitting, you know, like this because they're taking up so much space. So look, I have no doubt that some people need 2 seats. Should they pay for it? I don't know. You know, as a fat person, former, and I lost 110 pounds. I still have 25 to go. It has always been fashionable to punish fat people because ultimately, a majority of people in their brains blame people for being fat. It's one of the few medical conditions in which we lay blame. Someone gets AIDS, we know how they got it, but we don't blame them for it. I remember when I wrote the book, You Can't Say That, it was called that because I wrote an editorial that said if you get AIDS in the 21st century, you deserve it because we know all the info, we know how to stop it, safe sex works. And someone said, you can't say people deserve it if they get AIDS. And I'm like, well, yes, I can. And they said, no, you can't say that. And I said it anyway. And I've changed that opinion, by the way, but back then I believed it and was very passionate about it. And so we believe if you're fat, it's your fault. We've always believed that. When I was in grade school, my teachers treated me like it was my fault. You know, my PE teachers treated me like it was my fault. I used to believe that as well. It's your fault you're fat. You're the one that's not, you know, doing the right things, and subsequently you're fat. Shut your pie hole. I have since learned that that's a bunch of bullshit, okay? I have since learned that there's a lot that goes into being fat, okay? A lot. And the first is metabolism. For instance, I am fighting my own right now. My doctors have told me, because I lost a lot of weight, my body now wants to hold on to the weight that it's got. And so a normal person my size that hasn't lost a lot of weight, let's say you're a normal person that weighs 219 and you want to lose weight. 219 isn't where you got from 310, okay? It's just where you're starting. You could eat 1,800 calories a day and lose weight. But because I weigh 219, but I used to weigh 310, now my body would make me eat 1,500 calories or less to lose weight. And that's hard to do. So the first thing I'm fighting is my own metabolism. And these people who can't fit into one chair, they're fighting a lot of factors. First, their own metabolisms may be betraying them. And again, you know, some people are obese and it is their fault. They really just do eat too much. Other people, it truly is their metabolism. You used to say that when you were a kid. Oh, I have a slow metabolism. You never know what it meant, but it was just an excuse to be fat. Not the honey bun and the Pepsi that you were having every day at lunch or at break. And then having lunch. The public school cookies or the SOS, the mashed potatoes with the gravy and hamburger on top. Or the pizza. Or, oh, the things I used to love at... I was so poor, I loved eating lunch at school because for me it was like a restaurant, okay? Because we didn't go to sit-down restaurants very much. And so lunchtime for me was like going to a sit-down restaurant. So I would always, what's on the menu today, Mater D? Oh, well, today we have shit on a shingle and tater tots. And for dessert, freshly baked cookies. And you could smell those cookies all around the school for first period, second period, third period. Oh my God, by the time lunch came, I was running to the lunchroom to get those cookies. You know what I mean? You went to school, you remember. Something about those public school cookies or their pizza it was good. So I was a fat kid, obviously. But I was fighting metabolism then, and I'm fighting it now. The second thing is, we do not prioritize exercise in the United States. We just don't. Like this holiday week, the last thing on your mind is yoga, lifting weights, and going walking and running up hills. I will be doing that every day, including Christmas Day. Because for me, I have to do it now. I spend between 1.5 hours and 2 hours a day exercising. That includes walking, by the way, which is great exercise. 30 minutes of yoga or 30 minutes of weights, and then a walk up and down the hills, all of that. And I'll be doing it because now I can't not do it. I don't feel right if I don't do it. But for 55 years of my life, I certainly didn't have an exercise routine. It's only been the last 8 years. So a majority of you, because of your life, you don't have an exercise routine, or you think you exercise enough in your daily life. You don't. So, number one, there's metabolism. And of course, that's what Ozempic and Wegovy and all of them are now messing with, your metabolism, and making you want less food. I mean, there's no secret to Wegovy or any of that. The only secret is it makes you not want to eat. The drug doesn't make you lose weight. The drug makes you not hungry. You lose weight because you don't eat. Ultimately, that's how you lose weight. No calories in, extend more calories than you use. So metabolism and not prioritizing exercise. Those are two of the things the fatties from Southwest Airlines and other places are fighting. By the way, I used to be one, and I still am very tight in those little tiny seats. America and the world got bigger, and the seats on airplanes did not. Then third, food. The American food supply is a trash can of processed ridiculousness. Very few of you have the time that I make out of my day, I don't really have the time. I have to make the time. For instance, I remember one day last week I was 5 minutes late for the show, and the reason was I had to put on the Instapot with lentils and black-eyed peas and all that so I could have lunch. I had to start it cooking. And so I plan meals and take time to cook them. And I use whole foods from the store, real ingredients. I make my own nut milk. I make my own everything. I usually bake my own bread. I make my own rolls. I use oatmeal in its raw form, oat groats. I don't use a lot of processed foods. In my freezer, there's not a lot of boxed or bagged foods from the store. Same with my refrigerator and my pantry. But because of our modern day lifestyle, many people eat from a box, eat from a bag, or from a window, a drive-through window. None of that is good for you. And all of it leads to obesity. 600-pound people are not getting that way on fruits and vegetables and lentils. I'll just tell you that right now. So we have this society that A, does not take metabolism into account, B, does not prioritize exercise, prioritizes work and all your other responsibilities before exercise, and certainly doesn't prioritize time to eat. Because you need an hour for each meal. You need to prep it and then eat it. That's an hour. So an hour, 3 hours a day you need for food. Add in 2 hours a day for exercise, that's 5 hours. Now, given that you're going to be awake for about 16 hours, that still leaves 11 other hours, but if you're working for 8 or 9, so I get it. Most of you don't have 5 hours a day for food and for exercise, but you should. And the fact that we don't, and that we haven't set up a society where we do, has led to this obesity problem, so much so that now people are willing to jab themselves with an untried drug to get skinny or thinner. Don't want to say skinny. And so I get Southwest, I understand it, but instead of penalizing people for a condition they really cannot help. We used to think, oh, if you're fat, you can always help. No, it's really a medical problem and needs to be met medically. And I don't mean with drugs. I think they should prescribe good food for you, prescribe exercise for you. But it is a problem that most people need help to get under control. And they're being penalized because they're large. I had to wear Huskies across my ass back in grade school. So they're being penalized. Why don't airlines just have plus-size seats? They know they have plus-size customers. Why don't they have accommodating seats? And when there aren't plus-size customers on the plane, then guess what? Some lucky passenger gets a bigger seat. They'd have to be placed strategically around the plane so the plane doesn't list. But, why don't they have a plus-size? Like, why doesn't it be like clothing? Like, have rows on airplanes. Small, medium, large, extra large. And then plus size. Why not? If they're going to penalize fat people, why not start seating people in seats that they're going to be comfortable in? Well, that would require the airlines to actually care. It would. It would require them to actually think ahead. Nope, for them it's one size fits all, and that size is small. Airplane seats are small. Even I have trouble. Get out the baby oil. Lift yourself in. All right, it's holiday week on the Karel Cast.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's show time.
It's funny because around the holidays, we think about New Year's, and one of the top resolutions is to lose weight. And yet the holidays are set up to turn you into a fucking tank. Nogs, noshes, snacks, baked goods, cookies, cakes, creams, pies, Christmas Day feasts, roast beasts of all kinds. It's really hard around the holidays to not gain weight, let alone lose weight. And so Southwest, look, I realize if someone's taking up 2 seats, I guess they should pay. But if someone was disabled and needed 2 seats, would they make them pay? I don't know. For whatever reason, if someone needed 2 seats for a disability, would they make them pay? What if you had a growth growing off the side of you or something? I don't know. But it just seems we have always punished fat people because we believe they're responsible for being fat. It's your fault you're fat. And believe me, I used to say that too. Until I got older and realized, well, yeah, part of it is my fault. No one's making me eat baked goods at 9 or 9:30 at night. Okay, yes, that part's my fault. But the fact that my metabolism wants me to eat less and less and less to where I'd have to eat like a bird, literally, to lose weight, that's not my fault. That's my body rebelling. And as for the processed food dilemma, I just saw a story, 76% of all food sold in grocery stores is processed. The only non-processed foods are vegetables, fruits, and dairy, meat and dairy. That's it. And meat and dairy is poison, so you shouldn't eat that. So really, you can only shop in about 15% of the grocery store, 20%. The rest of the grocery store is no. Because you don't even get a choice anymore. They ultra-process things. They don't even have to ultra-process. They add ingredients to, like peanut butter. They don't have to add 5 ingredients to peanut butter. It's ground up peanuts. It doesn't have to be ground peanuts, salt, sugar, maltodextrin, blah, blah. No, just ground up peanuts. So there's processed food everywhere, just all over. And it makes it very difficult, as we know. Because if it weren't for Ozempic and Wegovy right now, we would still be the fattest nation in the land. People are not getting thin because of healthier habits. People are not getting thin because they're suddenly exercising, meal prepping, going vegan, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, counting calories. No. They're getting thin by an injection. Because ultimately, we were finding it too hard to do it on our own. I've lost thousands of pounds my whole life and found them again. And look, if Wegovy and Zepbound and all of that, if Ozempic, if that is the way, then, I wish it didn't exist. You're like, what? I wish it didn't exist. The invention of those drugs has made it so people don't think about proper diet and exercise. They think, I'll just take the drug. Instead of, I'll cut back my calories. I'll eat more whole foods. I'll stop eating processed foods. I'll exercise more. I'll improve my mental state. Obesity begins in the brain, not the stomach. I know everyone finds that hard to believe, but it does. Obesity begins up here. Your cravings, eating your feelings, depression, and who wouldn't be depressed? It's amazing we're not all 5,000 pounds after this year with Trump. I mean, that's enough to make anybody want to just dive into a bag of Oreos and not come out. So I really think it's important that as we look at these policies that are being made about fat people, like plus size, whatever, about, oh, you got to buy 2 airplane seats. And it's so quick for us to say, yeah, you're taking up 2 airplane seats. You should, and we're so quick to condemn them and to blame them. I think it's important to remember that weight is a complex issue. It's not just diet and exercise. It's mental state, economics. Poorer people tend to be fatter than wealthier people because of cheaper processed foods. You can go to a drive-thru and get really cheap food. It's really bad for you, but it tastes good and will fill you up. It wins. Even pizza. I love pizza. I have a pizza oven. You're really only supposed to eat 1 slice. You're not supposed to have half the pizza. And God knows there were days where I'd order a medium Pizza Hut pizza and eat the entire fucking thing. And I'm not dead yet. That's amazing. My calcium score is only 63. That's amazing. My cholesterol's normal. So, Southwest, I think you should do better by plus size people. I think you should just start putting some seats in your plane that accommodate them. And then don't charge them extra. Just have them be in that seat. It's not their fault they're big. They'd prefer to be small. You think they want to be big getting on that plane, touching the sides of the aisles have gotten thinner on the planes. Flight attendants must have to weigh 42 pounds because the aisles have gotten smaller, the seats have gotten smaller, also they can cram more in there. And now they're saying, hey, we made these seats so small that big people can't fit in them, so we're going to charge big people for 2. Well, that's a great racket. Let's shrink everything down so no one will fit, and then charge everybody more for 2 because they don't fit. Yeah. All right, it is the holidays. Entertainment is big. I don't mean podcasting and all that. Actually, that listenership goes down. But I mean movies and music and all of that. Esquire has come out with a list of the top 50 holiday movies. We'll talk about those and my favorite holiday movies. What's new, what's old. Also, we'll talk a little about music, although we're going to have another show about holiday music. And streaming shows. What television are you watching this holiday season? We're going to talk about all that and so much more on the second half of this Monday, December 22nd, Karel Cast. Don't forget, leave your comments down below, like and subscribe. And patrons, how much do I love you? I love you so much. Patreon.com/Really Karel is where you go and sign up to be a patron for the new year. How nice. How about support the show for the new year? Patreon.com/Really Karel. All right, we'll be back in just a second to talk entertainment. A smile. Yeah.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
What are the top 50 holiday movies of all time? Well, Esquire magazine seems to think they know. We're going to talk about that. And what television shows are you streaming this holiday season? I've got a couple for you. We'll also talk a little holiday music on this Monday, December 22nd.
Uncensored, unfiltered, unhinged. It's the Karel Cast. Listen daily on your favorite streaming service.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. Are y'all streaming my new song, Karel, I Dance Because? Are ya? Here it is.
I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the hood. I dance to feel you near. I dance to hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to honor night. On days of sadness wins. On nights that seem too cold.
Yes, that is a snippet of my new song, I Dance Because. You can go stream it right now. Karel, K-A-R-E-L, I Dance Because. It's a great holiday gift for anybody that likes great dance music. On Christmas, I'm going to do a music show. My whole story of music. The story behind my songs, why I did them. Maybe some of them you haven't even heard. Maybe the stories you don't know. New York and Jelly Bean Benitez and the things that happened on that trip. So there's a lot to talk about. That's going to be on Christmas Day because what do you want to talk about on Christmas Day, really? I mean, come on. So that'll be on Christmas Day. On Thursday, it's Karel's musical journey. So do stay tuned for that. All right. So it is the holidays. And, podcasts like mine, we take a huge dump in listenership because, again, it's the holidays. You've had enough Trump. You've had enough politics. You've had enough doom and death. And you're just ready for something better or something more entertaining. So the things that flourish over the holidays are movies, television, and music. Those are the three things. And books. People do read a lot over the holidays. Things that you just can't get enough of. Now, when it comes to television, there's the classic TV. What are your favorites? All of this I want to see down below in the comments, okay? Like, what are your favorite? Are you a person that does the marathons? Do you watch, like, the Twilight Zone marathon or the whatever show marathon that they have nowadays? I thought I should do a Black Mirror marathon because those shows are so good. And they're like Twilight Zones for the modern age. But a lot of people stream. They're busy around the house. They're in the kitchen, whatever. Just want to put on, something and watch it. Of course, there's sports. I've never gotten into that. I couldn't even tell you what sports they play over the holidays. But they do. I know they do. And so, there's some of that. But there's the traditional. Back in the day, remember when we would watch, like, everybody watched Rudolph the Red? It all came on one night. It'd be like Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph's Shiny New Year, or whatever, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, was it Town Without a Santa Claus or something like that? But all the Hanna-Barbera and all the stop motion and claymation things that were on that we all loved. Burl Ives, is it Christmas if Burl Ives doesn't sing? I just don't think it is. For those of you listening that don't know who Burl Ives was, he was a jolly man with a wonderful voice, an actor who did he's the voice of the guy in Frosty the Snowman. He sings Frosty. Or was it Jimmy Durante that sings Frosty? Is it Jimmy Durante? Frosty the Snowman. Jimmy Durante. Remember him? Big, huge nose, Jimmy Durante? I got a million of them. Boy, that's an esoteric reference, isn't it? Jimmy Durante. But he did do some voices for all the Christmas specials that we know and love. So there was Rudolph's Christmas special, and then the Island of Misfit Toys. I wrote an article about about how when you have an extended family on Christmas, not just your family, but you invite others in, you're the island of misfit toys because they're Christmas misfits and they're there with you. And you make everybody fit. Andrew and I certainly used to, and for a while there afterwards I did too. So I love all those specials, although they're all very depressing. A lot of the specials depressing. Rudolph, he's bullied. He's nose shamed. You know, he was nose shamed. And it wasn't until Santa needed him that suddenly all the reindeer are nice to him. Oh, Rudolph, we're all about Rudolph now. And he comes through. I'm not sure I would have. I said, wait, you're going to bully me all fucking year. And now that it's foggy, you need my bright ass nose? You know what? Go bump into the damn Eiffel Tower. I don't care. But not Rudolph. Oh no, he rose above it and led the way with his nose. Proof that being bullied, you can still turn out the hero. Frosty, he melts. I know the song says, I'll be back again one day. But come on. Depressing as hell. He melts. So what are the top 50 movies? Esquire told us. I'm going to tell you when I come back. Maybe yours is on the list. Maybe you have a different one.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
So I have a New Year's Eve or a Christmas Eve ritual that I've been doing for a long time. And it involves two movies. The first is Scrooged. That is my favorite Bill Murray movie. Scrooged. And, I don't have a ton of movies of his that I like, but that certainly is one of them. And I just love it all. I love Bobcat Goldthwait in that movie. Sir? I love him in that movie. I love Alfred Woodward. I love them all. And I know it's sexist, racist, misogynistic, it's classist, it's got every ism or ist in it that there is, but it's also very, very sweet. I like the ghost, Carol Kane. Oh my God, she's so hysterical as the ghost of Christmas Present. Isn't she present? Yeah. Maybe she's passed. No, what's his name? From the New York Dolls, the guy that smoked a cigar. He's the ghost of Christmas Past with a taxi. And then the Carol Kane is the ghost of Christmas Present. And then you don't know who the big ghost of Christmas Future is. But it's a great movie. And even the ending where they all sing this song, Put a Little Love in Your Heart. And he breaks the third wall. You there in the third row, get in the spirit. It's a fun movie. And then right after that, I watched the original Christmas Carol. Every Christmas Eve. In 2 days, this is what I'll be doing. And I don't care if I have to do it on my laptop, if I'm in a hotel, if I'm traveling, whatever. Scrooged and A Christmas Carol. And now remember, there's a lot of Christmas carols. The first one was in 1901, a silent movie. The one that I watched, it's between two. The one that I like to watch is the 1938 Reginald Owen one, okay? But there's a 1949 one with Alistair Sim, which is deemed like the official one. Now, some like the one with George C. Scott. I do not. I don't like it. I like that. For me, A Christmas Carol has to be in black and white. I'm old. That's how we used to watch it. And that's the way I like it. So black and white. And the Alistair Sim one, they colorized it. I had to turn it. So I bought it. I bought the 1939 or 49 Alistair Sim. You can't buy the 1938. And I bought it for when I'm traveling. And I always turn down the color because I will not watch it in color. I just won't. But there's a whole bunch of other movies out there outside of A Christmas Carol, and I will not watch the one with George C. Scott. No. But there's a lot of other movies out there that are quote-unquote Christmas movies, and I'd like to hear your favorite down below. Do me a favor, and down below, will you please put your favorite Christmas movie? What movie do you watch around the holidays? And if you binge watch a TV show, which one is it? I'd like to know. Christmas or New Year's Day, Christmas or Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, I tend to do music. That's where I pretty much say goodbye to Christmas music because I'm already done with it. It ain't but Monday the 22nd. If I ever hear Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You again, I will stab somebody. I swear to God. I'm so sick of that song. But what do you do on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? What do you watch? What movies do you watch? What movie says Christmas to you? Maybe it's not a Christmas movie, but it wouldn't be Christmas for you without it. Put it down below, please. Christmas in Connecticut, number 50, Barbara Stanwyck as a food critic who lies about having a farm in New England. Christmas in Connecticut sees the 40 stars scramble to put together a fake farm and family to protect her reputation. It's a comedy. Barbara Stanwyck, you cannot go wrong. Now, number 49, they say, is A Christmas Carol with, what's his name? George C. Scott, directed by Clive Donner. And Clive Donner, by the way, was the editor of the 1951 Scrooge film. He did his own movie in 84 with George C. Scott. I don't like it. It's not that George C. Scott doesn't make a good Scrooge. He does, but I don't like it. Number 49, A Year Without a Santa Claus. That's one of the animated ones. But, what is it? Claymation or stop motion or whatever they call it. And it's from Bass Rankin. And Bass Rankin did the best Christmas specials ever. Like, ever. They did them all. And The Year Without a Santa Claus has the Snow Miser and Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Heat Meister. I know the songs. I know the songs. So it's stop motion, and it has Shirley Booth in her final acting credit as the narrator. So that's a great one, A Year Without a Santa Claus. Number 46, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That one's got Fred Astaire. And it even looks like Fred Astaire, another Bass Rankin. Can't go wrong with that. Number 47 is one you may go, what? That's really heavy for Christmas. It's The Lion in Winter with Katharine Hepburn. Oh my God. That Richard O'Toole, Katharine Hepburn, what's his bucket? Anthony Hopkins, Timothy Dalton as the gay Prince of Spain who sleeps with Anthony Hopkins. It's set at Christmas in the 12th century. And she is Eleanor of Aquitaine, who gets released from her prison that her husband keeps her in, her castle, once a year to come out for Christmas. And the plotting and scheming, oh my God. And it's again set over Christmas. And it's called The Lion in Winter. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's one of the reasons that Barbra Streisand tied for her first Oscar was because Katharine Hepburn was so good that Academy voters tied. One of the few ties. They gave it to Barbara for Funny Girl and to Katharine Hepburn for The Lion in Winter. Such a great movie. I would dangle this from the nipples, but I might shock the children. Oh, what a great film. So be sure you watch that this holiday season. Batman Returns. Is that really a Christmas movie? It's set around Christmas, but I'm not sure it's a Christmas movie. Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart. No. I've seen it. I don't really like it. So no. If you like it, good for you. The Holiday with Nancy Myers, or directed by Nancy Myers. It's a little Hallmark. And by the way, I love those Hallmark. There's gay Hallmark movies now for Christmas, and I love them. They're schmaltzy, but there's hardly any drama, and everything turns out great at the end. Love Actually, that's just a great movie, period, but it's a good one at Christmas. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's mildly amusing. Mixed Nuts, Steve Martin. They say it's an underappreciated film, co-written by Nora Ephron. I don't know. A Very Murray Christmas, that's Bill Murray. It was okay. Deck the Halls. Okay. That's Matthew Broderick, who plays a dad. Overly ordered world turns into a disarray with the arrival of his kooky neighbor, Danny DeVito. There's then a contest of who can have the more elaborate Christmas decoration. You know these people, too. You know these people. They're neighbors, and they rival themselves. Even here in my condo complex, we have neighbors that are trying to outdo each other with, they're so competitive. Did you see the person that did the nativity scene and they had ICE officers there to arrest, because Joseph and Mary were illegal immigrants. And someone went through and destroyed the ICE people, by the way. The Family Stone, Sarah Jessica Parker, Claire Danes, Rachel McAdams, Luke Wilson, Diane Keaton. It's a riveting movie. Lots of good drama. A gay drama going on inside of it. It's good. Metropolitan, I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll watch it. Haven't seen it. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yay! I love Christmas Carnage. I love it. Nothing says the holidays like a massacre. Oh, I love them. Even on Peacock, I love the Homicide for the Holidays. I love it. I really do. And that one's, there's a slasher on Christmas. Goes on a murdering spree wearing a Santa suit. By the way, I don't know that they're going to be on here, but two of my new favorite Christmas movies are with Kurt Russell. He plays Santa Claus. I really like those movies. I really do. It Happened on Fifth Avenue. That's post-World War II. Edward Scissorhand. I like the movie. I never thought of it as a Christmas movie. The Santa Claus, one of the few things that Tim Allen did that I liked. Karel. Again, I'm not sure that's a Christmas movie. That's a lesbian movie. The Holdovers. That's a recently new film about 4 years ago. Paul Giamatti set at a college that closes down over Christmas holiday. He and a few students stay and the trouble they get into. A very large African-American woman won Academy Awards for her role in the film. It's absolutely wonderful. It's Paul Giamatti is a baby Scrooge, and it's great. The Polar Express. That's narrated by what's his name? Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Oh my God, everybody loves him. Everybody adores him. Tom Hanks. Oh, brain fart. Number 28, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The original one, by the way. The original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. From 1966. I was 4. I would later meet the writer of the song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. He played Professor Sharovsky in the movie Fame. He did. He wrote, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And I became friends with him and his wife. A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. That was very cute. Die Hard. A great Christmas movie. And it is a Christmas movie. 26 on their list. What's on yours? What do you watch? What movies say Christmas to you? Have they been on the list yet? While You Were Sleeping, Sandra Bullock. It wasn't her best movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. I didn't really remember that being as a Christmas movie, but okay. Gremlins is a Christmas movie, and it's charming. So charming. Mogwai, Bright Light, Gizmo. Absolutely. The Shop Around the Corner with Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. Classic. A Christmas Tale. That's from France with Catherine Deneuve. Black Christmas from 1974. Oh, it's a murder, death, kill thing. It's really wonderful. Eyes Wide Shut. Who at Esquire made this list? Little Women. No, I don't know. Too much. No, I'm not that gay. Or whatever. I don't. Yeah, no. I know it's the number 18, but The Best Man Holiday, a black film, so it's not all a white Christmas. That's with Taye Diggs, by the way. Very cool. He reunites with a group of old friends after 15 years for Christmas, which of course brings about a lot of trouble. Meet Me in St. Louis, which had the song Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which the drug addict depressed Judy Garland said was too depressing, so they had to change the lyrics. Post-war, it's kind of a sad movie, but Christmas can be sad. It can be. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, we've gone over that, but it's a wonderful movie. A Charlie Brown Christmas, too depressing. Too depressing. Christmas time is here, let me slip my wrist. I know that it's happy's up at the end, but Elf, no, sorry, not a fan. The Apartment, The Nightmare Before Christmas, I think is a Halloween movie. I know they invade Christmas land, but let's get Santa Claus, put him in the bag. 1951's A Christmas Carol. Nope, still go back to 1949. The Muppet Christmas Carol, of course, is untouchable. It's fabulous. Bad Santa. I like Bad Santa. I do, with Billy Bob Thornton. Miracle on 34th Street, the original. Where is he Kris Kringle? Is he not? Is the cane in the corner of the room because Chris gave us the house? Was he really Santa Claus? I loved that movie. Scrooged, my movie made the list. Home Alone, okay. White Christmas truly is not a black person in the cast. Is there? I don't think there is. A Christmas Story, I'll never understand how that movie is popular. I found it to be the most boring, non-funny movie around, but oh well. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and the number one is It's a Wonderful Life. Now, all of these movies have one thing in common. Can you tell me what it is? They all have, every one of those 50 movies has one thing in common other than being around Christmas. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you. I'll tell you in just a moment. Right now, though, I want you to put your favorite Christmas movie down below. What movie says Christmas to you? Do you have a ritual? Did The Wizard of Oz used to come on at Christmas on the TV, or was that at Easter? I forget. They always played it every holiday. I forget which one. I think it was Easter. I don't think it was Christmas. But, you know, what is your Christmas watching tradition? Please tell me down below. I'm very interested to find out. When we come back, I'll tell you the one thing all those movies have in common. All of them. One thing. Other than being about Christmas. Don't go away.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
Alrighty, so we went through what Esquire says is the top 50 movies of Christmas. I'd love to hear what movies you love. Or do you go to the movies on Christmas Day? A lot of people do. Wicked's playing. I have the screener for Wicked. They finally sent it. I'm going to watch that. Certainly Avatar will be out, but I fear it's just more of the same. And the first one was spectacular, and you were transported to Pandora, and it was wonderful. The second one, a lot of flying. The third one, I hope it's not more of the same. But anyway, movies are popular on Christmas to go to movies, so maybe you'll go. But what do all the movies have in common? All of them. Every one of them. In every movie, every character ends up finding the true meaning of Christmas. That's what they all have in common. They are all reminded, through whatever way, of the true meaning of Christmas. And so that begs the question, what do you think the true meaning of Christmas is? Whether you're Christian or not, it's not about the birth of baby Jesus. Whether you're Christian or not, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, what is the true meaning? And I don't mean where did Christmas come from. We're going to talk about that on Christmas Eve. I mean the meaning of Christmas. You know, holidays have a meaning. Easter is about rebirth. That's what the whole holiday is about. It's spring. It's about birth, renewal. You know, every holiday, New Year's is about, again, moving forward, a clean slate. What is the true meaning of Christmas? I've thought a lot about that over the years. And I know you're going to say friends and family, and that's certainly a great true meaning of Christmas. But for me, personally, I think the real true meaning of Christmas is giving. I really do. Giving of your time, giving of yourself, yes, giving presents, because giving leads to happiness. So I really go back to what we said at the beginning of the show. Christmas falls around the winter solstice, okay, which this year happened yesterday, the 21st. December 21st was the solstice. And that's the shortest night of the year. So from now on, days are going to start to get ever so slightly longer because the winter solstice has happened. And the winter solstice was a depressing time in olden days and even now. And so Christmas was about bringing joy and happiness into these darker months, lighting them up, you know? And I believe that giving brings joy and happiness. I truly do. To the giver and to the person getting. So I really believe that Christmas is about giving, because giving brings joy and happiness. So if you had to sum it up in 3 words, giving, joy, and happiness. That's what I really believe the true meaning of Christmas is. And in all of these movies, they all find out the true meaning of Christmas doesn't involve money and doesn't involve this and doesn't involve that. It involves being with those you love. Again, isn't that joy and happiness? Being with those you love brings you joy and happiness. So in the movies, it's always about being with those you love, even if it's just one special person, or finding love, if you're in a Hallmark movie, or in some ways overcoming some obstacle that was preventing you, that was blocking you from the joy and love, and finally getting to that spot, to the joy and love. So I hope this week, this Christmas week, as we are at the beginning of it, I hope that you are going to find some joy and love on your Christmas week. I really, truly do. Whether it's because you're giving to others or you're receiving from others or both. Let the joy and love flow on this holiday season. At the beginning of the show, I gave you permission to not always be joyous and happy. And right now, I'm giving you permission to welcome the joy and happiness when it comes. Or to spread some, even if you don't, especially if you don't feel like it. Because nothing will cheer you up like cheering up someone else. If you're alone, go find another neighbor who's alone and stop by and say hello. Giving of your time. That's a huge, huge thing to give. So this Christmas, let's remember it really is about giving joy and love and receiving joy and love. Not about how many people are around your table, not about how many presents are under your tree, but really how many presents could you put under someone else's? Whether that present was just a gift of time, whether you know a SNAP recipient and you just gave them a couple of hundred, extra bucks because their SNAP is, up in flux. Whatever it might be. If you're not on the giving end, if you're not on the receiving end, if you don't really know, like I'm not getting many presents this Christmas, but I gave a bunch. And that brings me the joy that Christmas brings. I threw a tea party. I threw it. I didn't ask them for money or contributions. I spent $250 on a tea party. It gave me joy. My friends came over, Sherry and Jeannie. We had a great time. That brought me joy. So this week, the true meaning of Christmas, I think, is joy and happiness, giving and receiving. I'd like to hear what you think it is down below, as in the comment section, as well as what television and movies you are watching this holiday season, and your comments on the fat story from Southwest Airlines. Should they be charging plus-size people more money, or should they really just be making seats that accommodate people, including plus-size people? It's not our fault they don't have large seats on an airline. The airline decides what size seat. Here at my house, I got big-ass seats. You got a big ass? Come and sit in my house. I don't have little tiny chairs at my house, like the one I'm sitting in now. This thing. It's old and I worry about it sometimes. All right, I am Karel. You be who you want to be, so it doesn't hurt you, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday the 23rd, as we approach D-Day, Christmas. When do you take down your ornaments, by the way? I'm going to take mine down this weekend. Yep, this weekend. They're out. You wait and see. They'd be gone. Bye. No more Mariah Carey and no more Queen.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.